As far as gear goes, when I was doing stuff with people like when I worked with that girl, Shay, there was a bit more like time leniency where I could put my bag down, be like, all right, I'm going to take my gimbal out for this shot and we're going to use this camera and this lens. And she would like wait for me to set it up and we would get certain things. DJ's life just moved so fast that I had to reevaluate like what kind of camera package I was going to travel with, because when I couldn't be like, when I was shooting with Shay, I had all these prime lenses. So I was like constantly changing my kit. I was constantly changing my lenses. I had this big ass, like 70-pound backpack that I'd throw on the ground. And I had like 3 cameras in there. So, for a long time, I was shooting everything on Sony's, like the A7S, because of the low light capabilities. And just, we would be in situations where I just never knew what kind of lighting we would have. And I'm not a huge fan of like throwing a light on a camera, because it's just so intrusive. And, you know, I like moodier stuff anyway. So, but with DJ, I knew I had to consolidate. So I kind of shifted my gear package from all these Sony cameras with all these lenses to the last maybe 6 to 7 months I've been shooting on Blackmagic pocket camera.
Yeah.
And the reason I love it is because it can shoot slow motion at 4K. And when I think about shooting somebody like DJ, I want to make sure that the content is future proof, and that down the line, when people are trying to grab clips for his like the documentary of his life, I want to make sure that the stuff looks good. So I think that the Blackmagic has done a good job at that. And I have a rig where my Blackmagic is in a cage, and then I have like a really nice monitor on it, and then I'm able to pull focus with this basically motor system that I bought. So it's like all self-contained. It's really quick. I shoot on 2 lenses, mostly one lens, like a 18 to 35. And because it's crop sensor, it's like a 24 to 70. And then I have another lens, which essentially is like a 70 to 200. But shout out to my buddy Jazz, who shoots all of Will's stuff. He was the one who kind of turned me on to just get my package down to like as small as possible. And then if there's projects where I know we're not going to be as crazy on the go and I'm going to have the opportunity to like take out a gimbal, I'll still do some of that stuff. But with the travel, it's usually not as good of an idea, because at the end of the day, it's just about capturing the moments, and it doesn't have to look like Martin Scorsese all the time. It's just that you didn't miss the moment. And like sometimes you miss things because you're trying to like put the fancy camera together.
Right. And
it's sort of like constantly the tug and pull of like, how pretty does it need to be versus like, how much do I just need to capture it? And those are like micro decisions you make, like 1,000 of those a day.
How do you gauge the temperature and kind of find the balance of when it's okay and when it's not okay to shoot?
Sure. So my advice to anyone, and just my personal experience, has been, you want to like go as hard as you can. You want to be, I don't know if aggressive is the right word, but you really want to get in there. And for me, unless somebody tells me to turn my camera off, like I'm going to have it out. I'm going to be making something. If I'm not shooting video, I'm taking photos, just because, something I believe is that it's easier to be assertive on a set than it is to be a magician in the editing room. That's, to me, the worst place, like sitting down to edit something and you don't have what you need. And you maybe could have got it had you just been a little bit more assertive. Mm-hmm. That's like that kind of shit makes me want to jump out a window. If I'm unsure, I'll just ask. I'll just be like, "Hey, I'm going to film everything. Is that cool?" And if there's ever a moment like, "Yeah, everything's cool, but just like don't shoot that one thing," then I know, okay, like or somebody like Will or DJ will be like, "Okay, we're good. You can turn the camera off," which does happen,
right? Of course.
But generally I'm as assertive as I can possibly be, because I want to have options when I sit down to edit something. You want to have as much as you can. And with documentary stuff, like, you're not following a script. Sometimes you don't even know what you're going to put together till you sit down to edit it. And you want to have as many options as possible. You can't fall back and say like, no, like I did what I needed, because
Right.
people pick up on anyone phoning anything in. Mm-hmm. Your clients are smart. They're gonna smell that kind of. It's like a spirit. It's like a way you go through your creative projects. So instead of phoning it in, I say always err on the side of being the most enthusiastic, being the most energetic about it. Be the person who like tries to always light up the vibe, the energy to get everybody excited about a project. Because at the end of the day, man, like we're blessed to get to use cameras to make a living.
Thanks for listening to this clip. Make sure to listen to the full interview, which is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and wherever else you listen to podcasts. Hit the subscribe button for more highlights and join our Black with No Cream private community for creators. Links in the description.